Hello, hello, hello. It is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3. Welcome to True Hill Heat 80. On this edition of True Hill Heat, we will be discussing the brave individuals that have come and stepped forward, starting the speaking out movement in the professional wrestling world, as well as the revelation of the broken wrestling scene that we have. And we're gonna make that like the main portion of this podcast. But we also gotta also discuss the big news that came out just recently this week with more positive tests for WWE and their ongoing company-wide testing. Week 36 of the Wednesday Night War, and of course a preview for AEW Fighter Fest next week. So I am back once again with the princess of all the True Hills, Miss Krssi Love.
Hello, hello,
Yes. Yes.
hello.
We also got our resident True Hill alcoholic, Mr. Top Guy JJ.
Right on cue, baby. Got that 30 mana on deck.
You got that rock drink?
Hell yeah.
And on this edition of True Hill Heat, since it's True Hill Heat 80, we had to have a very special guest. So we got from the Wrestling Travel YouTube channel. Wrestling Travel is an organization that brings wrestling fans together, traveling to all the major wrestling events around the world. But this individual could really sell you on it a lot better than me. He is Mr. Justin Clapper.
Hey guys,
Hey.
Woo!
thank you very much for having me. I love being on a show that starts out, hey, this week, as wrestling is breaking down. I don't know if that's the bad news or not, but I'm happy to be here. Thanks, guys. Big fans. Big fan.
Krssi must have liked you from the start because it looked like you a Becky Lynch mark back there, man.
You know what? Yeah.
I don't want to say anything since you've been putting people out on the spot, but you know.
I don't know if I can say this out loud with everything going on, but got a chance to meet her SummerSlam, Toronto.
Wow. Nice.
Our guy was doing the interviews, and I was back there just kind of holding the camera. And man, I tell you what, and I mean this in the most polite, respectful way, because I know you can't say much right now, but the camera does not do her justice. She is so much more beautiful. Usually you see somebody and you're like on TV and you're like, oh man, she's so made up for TV. She's beautiful. Like Alexa Bliss, beautiful in person, beautiful on TV.
Yep.
Becky Lynch, beautiful on TV. And I look at her and I'm like, man, TV is doing you a disservice. Because you are just cool. What a cool chick. So yeah.
Awesome personality. Even though I gave her a hard time because of our Lord and Savior Ronda Rousey,
my God.
I can't appreciate.
He keeps saying
her.
ours, not ours. His.
R.
Only his.
R. That's her official nickname. Our Lord and Savior. But yes, Justin, tell them a little bit about your YouTube channel before we get into anything.
Yeah, absolutely. Wrestling Travel, as you kind of introduced, we're out of the United Kingdom, but we bring fans worldwide to different wrestling events. The WrestleMania is our big one. We went to Wrestle Kingdom in January, and then, as you know, the world stood still. We didn't have WrestleMania, so we had a YouTube channel just sitting there, not being used. And I said, hey, let me use this. Let me go out and try to speak to some people in the business, find out what they're doing during this lockdown, and maybe help them sell a T-shirt. And I always thought if I can't help them sell a T-shirt right now, what I can do is introduce the fans to these different wrestlers, and maybe I sell them a ticket once this is over. They go, hey, that guy or girl was pretty cool. Got a chance to watch. You know, and we're not huge. People don't know much about us, so we are slowly getting subscribers on YouTube. As I'm sure you guys know, it's no easy task on YouTube because there's millions of people doing stuff on YouTube and content. And I just started doing the lockdown sessions, and it's been fun for me. I wanted to do a 15 to 20 minute show, but I ended up talking with a guy like Nikita Koloff last week, and the little kid in me goes, hey, wait, man, I got to ask you this. I got to ask you that. So it's fun. If you can't stay there for the whole hour that I do one, break it up, watch it in 15-minute clips. I guarantee you'll find something fun in there.
That's awesome, man. And you've been successful with it. You just recently hit 600 subscribers on there, so I want to congratulate you on that because that's awesome.
Woo!
But
We're doing something that's going to come out tomorrow, but I feel like I can tell you today. I've got different things in my. There's an autographed Ultimate Warrior poster back there. I've got all kinds of merch, and I'm doing the push for 1,000. Once we hit 1,000, I'm gonna start giving away some stuff just to try to
Ooh.
make that totally illegal and not the slow build to 1,000, but I want to get there as fast as we can. So.
That's what it's about, man. That hit that 1K, but you're well on your way. So we had to give you that appreciation, just like we give our appreciation to start off every True Hill Heat with our True Hill roll call. This is where we shout out all the individuals contributing on our Facebook page, our Twitter page, our YouTube channel. So our True Hill Trinity is our top 3 conversation starters on our True Hills group page. And coming in at number 3 this week is a new one. We got Charlie Layton, and
Wow.
yes, a new individual in the True Hill Trinity. It's been a while. And coming in at number 2, we got our New Japan aficionado James Wims, and coming in at number 1 once again is the Negro Buck Nick Jackson.
Wait, hold on. Mr. Romeo got knocked all the way out.
And he should have been talking all week this week.
like he went from 2 to not mentioned at all.
Hey,
exactly.
He was a close number 4. Like, give the guy a break.
There is no number 4. Like, it's 1, 2, or 3.
He was busy. We shout out the top 3. He was busy. He's got a whole bunch of shows on our YouTube channel, so it's not fair to him. You can't give him a hard time.
SP,
okay, sure.
Let me ask, brother, do we mention the 9th seed in the NBA playoffs?
Nope.
Well, we don't mention the guy after the bronze medal. So yeah, you're the one that did mention him. So a couple of the True Hills that we do got to mention is Josh Mitchell, as well as Greg Prose, Eric Luna, Dave Newman, John McCarthy, and our YouTube subscriber highlight, we got Damo Jones and Shaw Powers, who's been commenting on a couple of our YouTube channel pages, especially our New Japan videos. We want to shout out J News of J News Japan. Everybody's been telling us we're one of the few channels that's covering New Japan Pro Wrestling, so we got to give it up to J News, who's watching all the shows, staying up to 2 a.m. so we can get that fresh content out there. So
sidebar, you can add Will Ospreay to my list of men too now.
Oh, okay. Oh, well.
As he's with Killer Cross and Dexter Loomis, and now you can add Will Ospreay in there too now. Thanks.
Well, maybe you should wait. Maybe you should wait till we get to
so much justice. I mean,
maybe you should wait till we get to our top news before we mention him. So
damn it! Oh, doggone it!
Yeah.
Before we get to our top news, though, what we missed is the Undertaker: The Last Ride. We did our chapter.
Damn!
You.
I'm just so upset right now. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Carry on. Go ahead.
You broke our heart on True Hill Heat.
Yeah, like on episode 80. Like, come on, man.
And the SP just moves on. Like, he just breaks hearts and just moves on.
I was wondering what list she had there for a minute. I was like,
oh, yeah. I have a list. She's going to kill us now because we're going off the rails now. I'm sorry. We're on a time schedule.
I was like, we were going to discuss a list a little bit just after this. After the
okay, fine. Go ahead. I'll tell you the list afterwards. Go ahead.
That list before you tell us your list. I'm glad we got some humor out of it, though. So what we missed, Undertaker: The Last Ride. Undertaker announces his retirement on Chapter 5 after the 5-part series.
Shout out to AJ Styles, man. AJ Styles, the OG, man.
Absolutely.
The original and only club member.
What was your thoughts on the whole series, Krssi?
I actually really liked it a lot. It gave you another side, and they didn't lie and give you like fake news or like they kept it raw and to the point, and it showed you at the beginning where he was like in denial, like for sure, and then it showed you at the end. It was like, yeah, maybe I'm just no, it's time. And even the wrestlers that was on there that has retired told you the same thing. Yeah, that he'll know eventually. Like he'll keep getting tired of You just got to give it up, but it's hard. It's like what you've been doing for almost your whole life. So it's like, how do you give up something that you love doing? But like, but when I like how he was there, like, you know, giving pointers to the guys, showing them what to do, like, you know, showing video clips, like, you know, pay homage. You know, that's how you can, your legacy will go on. Like you helping those to get where you are. You know, keep going, pay it forward, help those out. I loved it though. I liked it a lot.
How about you, Justin?
My thoughts were exactly WWE does a great job with the documentaries, but exactly like Krssi said, these documentaries are only as good as real as WWE can keep them. And this one was fantastic. It left me wanting more. My hat's off to The Undertaker. Been doing this for a very long time. My only disappointment is if his last match is that Boneyard match, that following the tradition, and I know tradition gets quotes right now, not doing the honors of the way out. I was hoping to watch that last match again. So
Okay, so you were more disappointed that he's retiring on a win than retiring in that type of match?
right, yeah, that type of match. I mean, I've covered it on my show. Like that type of match is something I don't want to like as a traditionalist, but then I put us in the 2020. What else are they going to do? It's entertainment. At least we have it. It's not like baseball and basketball right now where it's gone. So I had a new appreciation for it. I guess the selfish person in me wanted one more match at least, maybe going out, doing the honors. But I guess more than going out on a win, I wanted to see one more match. You know, just because he's the man, you know.
I understand. How about you, JJ?
SP, meet some of the fans that kept Undertaker inspired to stick around for longer. But honestly, and it's not even close. This is WWE's best work when it came to docuseries. Like this is their best work, and it's like I said, to me, it's not even close. I love the Edge one. I love the Seth Rollins one when they did it, but this one with Ed, this one with Undertaker was, you got to meet the character, the man, the legend, the person that's confused with himself, the person that has been through it all, and I'm gonna kind of go in the opposite way. I think he got exactly what he wanted at his exit. Like he got the big moment, he got the theatric moment, he got the end finish, he got the ride off into the darkness. Like he got everything I think he envisioned without the plan that he saw his last match be.
Yep.
He wanted the work rate. He wanted the exhaustion. He wanted it to come out good. There was nothing else that he could have gotten out of that match that would have made him say, I need to do this again. Because if you think about it, like in the episode right prior to that, when he had that really good match with Roman Reigns as his partner at Extreme Rules, the Undertaker looked good in the ring. He took bumps. The match went lengthy. He still wasn't satisfied. Like
Right.
he said when he went to the back that he was done, but you could still, like, he still had a little bit of an itch. There's no itch after this. Like the way it came out, we called it literally one of the best matches of WrestleMania weekend. Like it was really, like, that was his highest reviewed match in how many 7 years, 8 years since CM Punk in 29. So it was a really good outcome for what has taken over the world, but he got the best result possible. And I don't think he can vision himself doing that again, because now it's like you step into the ring, you have another match. You don't get to ride off in the motorcycle. You don't get to ride off into the dark. You don't get that powerful UT symbol in the back of the scene. Like, it's literally picture perfect ending. And you cannot end the greatest character career in the history of professional wrestling on something different. And I think that he's gonna finally understand that, especially like when his brother died, and when Michelle McCool's cousin died. That they literally passed away within the same time frame, and like all these things started to hit him. And you could see that reality is starting to kick in, and then you can't get a better reality than what he got.
I can agree. I can agree with JJ on a lot of that. I said a lot of my thoughts on our review of the Undertaker: The Last Ride, Chapter 5. But the one thing, my one takeaway from the whole series is I relate better with the Undertaker. Justin,
Yes.
for the past like 3 years, Justin, I've had this kind of antagonist role to the Undertaker because I've been so upset with the fact that me and JJ sat there at what I forget what stupid name they came up for that stadium in Orlando. But for WrestleMania 33, we had people sitting beside us crying as the Undertaker walked off. He got that great goodbye at WrestleMania 33. Went down and said his goodbye. Everybody's crying. It was perfect. It's like one of the top three greatest retirements ever. And like him,
Pre-retirement, pre.
him and Ric Flair ruined both of them. So
Yeah, I was going to say Ric Flair. Yeah,
so so that's what my antagonist role. But after watching it and seeing what he went through throughout my whole entire run on True Hill Heat, being this antagonist to him, I relate to him more and I understand him a lot better, especially with what JJ said with losing his brother. I lost my father this year, so I related with that a lot, and being present with your family means a lot to me, so I understood what he was talking about there. But I know the Undertaker. Justin, you're in luck. It won't be his last match.
I mean, if he does, it's like this is the
Why?
moment where you don't understand why. Like he got everything he wanted out of it. And then it's like, dude, now you get to spend time with your wife. You get to see you got your ending. You got what you were looking for. You're not going to
Yep.
have a better match than the Boneyard. You're not going to have one. It's not possible for you physically. And now, if he steps into the ring one more time, we will see Undertaker for 4 or 5 more years.
I said this in 2017 on like True Hill Heat 3.
I
This
think
is
the
True
only
Hill Heat
yeah right.
80.
I think the only difference with this one is that this was a great performance compared to WrestleMania 33, where he was completely unsatisfied with his own performance. That he felt that he let Roman Reigns down, which was the big dog of the company. He thought he let him down, so he needed to make that up. There's nothing to make up here. You stepped into this situation with the best in the business, with the most careful guy in the business, and you basically have created a masterpiece that people is going to love for years to come. There's nothing else to do.
I can't wait for True Hill Heat 180 when we were having the same conversation. Uh, so we also missed New Japan Cup 2020 action. Show beat Shingo in a banger of a match I just checked out. We had Sanada defeating Taguchi, Taiishi beating Tanahashi in a big upset on night 2, and Kota Ibushi defeating Top Guy JJ and Miss Krssi Love's choice for the New Japan Cup 2020, Zack Sabre Jr. Top Guy JJ, any comments on that?
No,
Glad to hear it.
no.
Evil beat Kojima, Bushi beat Goto beat Yujiro, and Yoshihashi defeated Tenzan on night 4. We had Ishimori beat Kanemaru, Ishii beat Makabe in a very hard-hitting matchup. Romo put Yano on an elevator and won by countout. If you've been seeing the interactions between Hiromu and Yano, it's some of the funniest stuff that New Japan has done in a while. Great stuff. And Okada defeated Nagata on night 5. I missed out on the notes on night 6, but that also happened just this morning before we filmed this, so you could check that out. J News Japan will be back on full reviews of all the nights of New Japan Cup action right here on our YouTube channel. SmackDown had on your land, Miss Krssi Love, Matt Riddle debut and defeat the new Intercontinental Champion AJ Styles, as well as Bray Wyatt resurrects his cult leader persona to get in the mind of Braun Strowman. What was your thoughts on that, Christy?
Pure Bray Wyatt can do no wrong in my eyes. It's just sad how they just made his character. Don't roll your eyes like, dang, really, JJ, really. That's how you
We
feel?
we know
I'm
we
not
know
saying any
JJ's
words.
thoughts.
I'm just
We already know JJ's thoughts on Bray Wyatt. That's why I went to you, Krssi. What did your thoughts?
It's just bad that how his character. I love the Funhouse, the way they did everything. It's just how he had the belt and then took it away. It's just I don't understand what they're doing with him, but um, we hopefully it'll be better. I like the direction how he's trying to get in the mind of Braun. So we'll see what's the deal.
We will see. On Raw, we had Dolph Ziggler return to Raw in a trade for AJ Styles. They finally completed that, and he comes along with Bobby Roode. And now
Not necessary. Not
Dolph Ziggler is
necessary. We could
challenging
have
Drew
stayed,
McIntyre for the WWE title at Extreme Rules. Krssi Love, you
which he
sound like you're
will
upset
lose.
about that.
I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't like it. I don't want it. No, send it back. No, I mean he wasn't doing nothing on SmackDown anyway. But just like no,
He
I
was
don't like
losing
it.
to Otis. We also had Edge gave an update on himself with an excellent promo, promising
Oh
a
my god, it was so
heel.
good.
Very awesome promo if you haven't checked it out. And Asuka defeated Charlotte in a good match, and then Nia Jax attacked Charlotte, taking her out. And Charlotte will reportedly be out for between 1 to 6 months with elective surgery. So we've talked all about the big push of Charlotte Flair. Justin, what's been your thoughts on Charlotte Flair and her role in the WWE?
Well, I did a review after NXT in Your House. Um, the opening match for that, the 6-woman tag team match. Now, normally, what happens when you have an opener that's 6 people? Usually on the indie scene, it means, hey, a couple extra guys showed up. We're just going to throw them into this thing and everybody get a little work in. And man, I was impressed with that women's division that entire night, especially that 6-woman match. And then obviously, I think the only other one was the three-way dance that was the main event. And Charlotte, whether or not I believe she was sent over to NXT to kind of combat the AEW, but I love that whole division thing going on there at NXT. Now I fast forward to the next week at Backlash, and my response was, "What in the hell is going on here with the women's division?" Like I just got done putting them over on the review show, going the women's division in WWE so outstanding, and then that was missing Charlotte. I'm not saying Charlotte, but there's so much talent up there, and what in the heck were they doing at Backlash? I mean, I couldn't have had a more, is it yin and yang, green and blue? Like, what a big difference. So Charlotte, to me, obviously she's got the namesake. She's worked just as hard, I've got to imagine, behind the scenes because of who her dad is. To be as good as she is. So she's going to be sorely missed. Whether or not, if I could go back and rewatch that triple threat and how much is she carrying that, I don't know. I mean, I'm a big fan of Io Shirai.
So am I.
So and Ripley's young, but
Yeah.
it was a great match. How much of that is Charlotte? I don't know, but she's going to be sorely missed, in my opinion.
So
It's Vince's fault.
You
He
think it's
worked it too
Vincent?
hard.
Well, it's an elective surgery. It's not an injury.
Okay, but she's still gonna be going.
So you think it's Vince's
He
part
worked
for
it too
pushing
hard.
her?
Yeah. Yep.
So who would you like to see step up in her role then, Krssi?
I don't know because it's like we have so many girls that are good. Like he said, Rhea's really young, so she's on the NXT scene. But like for the other girls that's on SmackDown and Raw, is like who steps up now to be like? Yeah, we see Nia Jax. She's coming. Yeah, she's probably not gonna win because she's injured everyone else in the meantime too, very carelessly. So it's like, who do you now pick? Who's available who's ready to put, lace their boots up and come out. Like, I don't know. I'm sad to say I don't know who I can trust right now in that division. Sorry. Sad. I'm very, very sad about to say that.
I mean, I would hate to be the obvious one, but I would say Asuka. Asuka's been the best
I mean, no,
person
Asuka, no. You said
for
who?
WWE. I mean, I'm just saying if they're gonna
No,
push
Asuka is
anyone,
great. Yeah, she
Asuka,
deserves it.
She's gotten this like what I called what we called before on True Hill Heat. It's called the nudge.
I
It's
think
not
she
really
got
a
gotten better.
push.
I think
It's
she's
not
gotten
really a
better since
push.
she's won.
They gave her something, but it's not really a push. It's a nudge. I want the full push like Charlotte has gotten where
Okay, okay, I see what you're saying.
where she beats Nia Jax on pay-per-view. We don't have a double count out. I want a
Right,
real push for Asuka. They have not committed like they committed in NXT on the main roster. So
but that's
I
not
would
what you
like
asked me, friend.
but that's who I'm saying is the person to fit in
Okay,
that role.
well then, yes, I would agree with that. Asuka is the right person. I am liking where they're taking it. I think she's got even better since she has won the title. These matches that she's been having have been great. Don't.
Just a random
She has
question:
been.
Did Shayna Baszler get fired?
You know what?
Vince is not sold on her, so she's
So she got
going
to sit
by.
down in the back.
Like,
That's
damn,
that's
she
horrible.
can't even get on TV.
Right. Like you
It,
might as well take her back to NXT where she was at least getting TV time.
it's a sad case with Shayna Baszler, which I'm sure we'll get into on a future episode. But Charlotte is reportedly from interview that she did, she's gonna be back for SummerSlam.
Okay.
So now we can get into our top news story, which of course has to do all about wrestlers and wrestling fans speaking out and the hashtag speaking out movement. We covered at the end of our top news last week on True Hill Heat 79 that David Starr had been accused of sexual abuse from a partner as well as other exes. David Starr has been released from all of his promotions, which seems to indicate that his wrestling career is over. Shortly
Damn.
after we were done filming, social media saw a flood storm of other wrestlers as well as wrestling fans speaking out about sexual abuse from wrestlers or a part of the wrestling community. Mainly started with a Twitter account named Exposing Wrestling, which revealed a list of abuse in professional wrestling, and the abuse has been described in harrowing detail through social media. All you have to do really is put speaking out on Twitter, and you can see a flood of the different stories that are out there, and a lot of them is very saddening to like find out that like Justin said at the top of the show, it's a broken wrestling scene that we're involved in, and it really paints the picture like perfectly there. My words really couldn't do it justice. Matt
Yeah.
Riddle, Jordan Devlin, Justin Roberts, Will Ospreay, B. Priestley, Marty Scurll, among others, are among those that who have had victims stepped forward. WWE sent out a statement in regards to Devlin and Riddle investigating those situations. However, WWE released Jack Gallagher, excuse me, Jack Gallagher, due to his own separate allegations. Due to many of their wrestlers being involved, Progress Wrestling has also temporarily closed while they do like a whole restructure of their company. A lot of these acts and the abuse have to do with like the British wrestling community and British wrestling scene. Very happy that we got Justin on here because with wrestling travel he can kind of speak on that maybe directly. Impact Wrestling is among those who also took action. Impact Wrestling released Joey Ryan and Jake Krssi, who had some of like the biggest allegations against them. So many different accounts in regards to Joey Ryan, as well as they have suspended Michael Elgin for his own separate allegations. AEW suspended Jimmy Havoc and sent him to rehab for separate abuse that he's had in past relationships. Then, after the accounts of abuse, a leaked podcast from 2016 leaked, which had Sammy Guevara of AEW stating that he wants to, and the R word, I can't say it on here because we'll get probably
Please.
the video taken off, the R word to Sasha Banks after seeing her at his WWE tryout. These comments led to AEW suspending Sammy while he deals with his personal issues. Being the Elite that featured Joey Ryan has also been re-edited in separate acts that AEW has done. Also, Shakara Wrestling was called into question for some practices in their training facility, which led to Mike Quackenbush closing down that company and resigning as the trainer at Wrestling Factory after a few dozen of the wrestlers from Chikara state their plans to to no longer work with the company. Unfortunately, we also learned that ring announcer and former guest of the podcast, Mark Adam Haggerty, was also involved in allegations that had been communicating with an underage male on social media, which has had him removed from Major League Wrestling as well as Battle Club.
Damn.
With respect to the victims that have spoken out, we have removed True Hill Heat 58, which featured Mark, as well as his interview on True Hill's BTR. With respect to all of those speaking out, and definitely we want to say how proud we are for all of those that have been brave enough to say their own like separate like accounts and experience with sexual abuse in the wrestling scene. So Justin, you know, a lot of this features around the British wrestling scene, with Wrestling Travel being your connection. We're glad that we have you on here, so we want to hear your thoughts first.
Well, I'm going to preface everything with it's a very slippery slope. Even us four just discussing this in a public forum. That
Yep.
it's the one thing I did say in private, and I'm not afraid to say it out here, is with all the allegations that just exploded after the David Starr incident, I hope, as much as I don't want to hope, but I do hope that they're all very factual. I do hope that we're not piling on anybody here. What I have seen is some people coming out. Somebody gives their story of a very brave story of some sexual abuse, and now somebody else comes out and uses that speaking out for maybe some type of bullying or hazing. And I'm not taking anything away from that. It's just that it does take a little bit away from somebody who has bravely come out and said these stories. And not shared their story. I don't want to say stories like that. It is unfortunate. One of the things that being in the business for as long as I have, one of the things that I noticed when I first came in was my trainer asked me very early on, after I'd been there for a few weeks, what is my impression of the business? And I said, I cannot believe that everyone is as nice as they have been to me. And he says, we weed out the assholes right away at the beginning, because once I lift you off your feet, your livelihood is in my hands. Now, we're talking 1997, guys, when it used to, and I'm going to go off on a tangent, so you might have to reel me in. It used to cost $5,000 to get into the business. And in 1997, I couldn't just jump on the interweb and go, hey, I want a wrestling school. I mean, I looked high and low, and even while I'm asking, hey, will you train me? I got Wayne the Train, one of the Beverly brothers, looking at me going, you don't want to do this, kid. Why the hell would you want to do this? And I'm like, it's been a dream of mine. But now we fast forward on. When I talk to people in the business and they say, hey, I'm talking to old Johnny Johnson over here. He's been wrestling for 3 years. I'm like, okay, who broke him in? Oh, Bob Smith. I don't know Bob Smith. Who broke him in? I'm going back 3 or 4 generations of, not generations, but 3 or 4 trainers before I have a recognizable name that actually understands the business of professional wrestling, understands psychology, understands the build. What happens now is a lot of people go, hey, I broke in the business by Bob Smith. Now I can charge $800, $1,000, and I can be a wrestling trainer, and I can make that money. So what happens, I believe, in all of this, and I'll come back to my point here, is that we get lost what is the core of the business. My trainer, Eddie Sharkey, said, listen, we weed out the assholes at the beginning. And a lot of times those assholes aren't getting weeded out lately because it's a money grab at some point. Now, there's some very highly respected names on the formerly highly respected, like quote unquote names. How many names people ask me, do you think that a David Starr, somebody will still book him, right? And I said, I hope not. But there's going to be some outlaw federation that's going to jump up because he's got name recognition formerly from fans that maybe are living under a rock. But how many people, the stories that we've heard, how many people are out of the business right now because they were bullied, they were hazed, quit the business because of sexual abuse? I don't want to be around that. You can read many ribs. Somebody took a dump in somebody's gym bag. there's all those ribs and stuff that we read about. Now, there's part of me that says back in the day, you had to have a little bit of a thick skin, because sometimes if you were doing stupid stuff in the ring, they'd rein you in with a little bit of a tighter headlock and stuff like that. But how many talented people have left the business and would be the quote unquote names that were probably good people that they kind of got forced out of the business from these guys. So my point is the business is something that I love. I know you guys love it. I know there's a lot of people, but it's broken. Right now, there's several states that I do not have to be a licensed professional to run a promotion, to be a wrestler. There are states like that. I know I've asked my colleagues over in the UK, what happens? Can I just buy a ring and call myself a promotion? And unfortunately, in a lot of situations, the answer there is yes. It needs some sort of regulation. Now, when I say that, the rest of the people are going to jump up and go, whoa, whoa, whoa. We've been running, we've been clean, but it needs some type of regulation. I need people to be licensed. I need, there's some places that are having TNT Extreme Wrestling, which is a promotion in Liverpool that work very closely with, now has a fan liaison that they're going to have that in there. If anybody feels uncomfortable, it unfortunately it comes to stuff like that, and just think of laws and rules that we may think are kind of stupid and kind of obvious. Everything has been put in there in society because of some stupidity, some illegal activity. So it breaks my heart that this is happening, but just like everything else that's going on, especially in America right now, if not now, when do we fix it? We fix the shit right now and get everybody exposed and out, and let's start fresh.
Krssi, so what was your thoughts on the speaking out movement, all these harrowing stories about the wrestling scene, and what like Justin pretty much describes like this broken wrestling scene that we now are faced with?
I guess it's bad that I got a list, huh? I gotta throw the list in the trash, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the list is now in the trash. Sorry. Can't have fun. You can't have fun anymore, unfortunately. And then because things get taken out of context, and unfortunately, someone that probably was playing around like me, I'm literally just joking around, having fun. Someone can take that and not receive it the same way. So it's sad and it's unfortunate. If it is in fact true, like Justin said, then they can't. There's no place for you to. It's sad. We don't need that. Like, we're here to have fun, entertain, and do a great job. And unfortunately, you have some people that are sick, and they do these things, and they probably don't know that they are doing these things, and hopefully that they are going to get help and do what they need to do. But if it is in fact true and that you intended to do that, then we don't need you here. We don't need you to sit at the table, and you can go.
Yeah, I think the fact that it was David Starr, who's been such like a vocal person in the wrestling scene, I think that's why it was like very quick for people to kind of jump on and like the legitimate things that he has done and that have
Right.
kind of been proven by him, like deleting his Twitter and like not taking like really accountability for the things. So that he's a whole different subject. There's also people like Matt Riddle that has come out and denied the allegations against him. WWE has been told that they knew about the allegations against Riddle for over 2 years, and apparently he's been back and forth with this individual that come out to kind of support what Justin was saying at the beginning of what he had to say, with basically people using this movement to kind of have their own agenda and kind of steer it in their own way to kind of muddy the waters for someone, Matt Riddle, who had a big opportunity on Friday. This all popped off Thursday, Friday, and kind of like muddied the water on what should have been a very celebratory time for him with his SmackDown debut. But that's just how stuff like this, the Me Too movement happened in Hollywood. It didn't reach professional wrestling for this long, but now it's here, and now we have to deal with it, like Justin was
Yeah.
saying as well. Shop Guy JJ, what's your thoughts on everything that has happened?
I'm really glad that you mentioned the Matt Riddle one that's been going on for a long time now. And I think a lot of what I'm going to have to say about it is probably not going to be very wrestling related. Um, I'm one extremely proud of everyone that has been able to speak up and step out so far. Because in this time and day, this day and age, feel comfortable that this is not the 80s and the 90s anymore.
Mm.
And that this is a time for movement and swift action needs to be taken. And I am praying for my wrestling fandom, for the thing that I've watched since I am 4 years old, for these companies to handle it as swiftly as they need to handle it. This should cost people jobs. This should cost people their reputations. And truthfully speaking, this wrestling industry has had so far the most known substances of these allegations that's taken place. So they could be the lead dogs in how to handle something really well. And obviously, the wrestling scene has not been a place that things have been handled greatly when it comes to things like this. So this is something that wrestling could take the lead on and really show how this is not acceptable. And as you said, like that word is not even to be said. That's something I've never said that to the kids growing up. I've never said that in joking to women. Like it's something just like how we cannot hear the N word from other cultures and things like that. It's like you don't say that word to other people because honestly, you know them, but you don't know everything about them and how they handle stuff like that.
Right.
So I thought it was very big of Sammy Guevara to actually
Mm-hmm.
go up front to Sasha
Yes.
Banks and
Yeah.
give and have an open dialogue conversation and
Yes.
really break his character and really
Yep.
dig down and apologize for accepting what he said 4 years ago. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
he was a 22-year-old kid, but these things at that time when he said them, you know, he was probably joking, but he stepped up and said it.
Said.
But
Yep.
he don't know Sasha Banks. He doesn't know
Mm-hmm.
her, and the fact that you use that word in relation to her, you don't know how they're gonna handle that. So I was
Yeah.
really proud that he was actually able to do that, and actually even prouder of AEW for immediately suspending one of their hottest commodities just to get this under wraps and to really get him the treatment that he deserves, and all of his salary is going to be donated to a women's foundation. So it's like you see the actions being taken, and AEW were the first ones to really give you a broad of what you could start to see happen. And I was super proud of all the parties involved in it, and I was even more proud of Sasha Banks because Sasha Banks didn't have to
Mm-hmm.
be that nice to speak to him. And Sasha Banks, you know, she gave him the education, she gave him her feedback, and that's the progress that we need to see from out of this, because there's a lot of people that's not going to be able to handle and step up the way Sammy did. And this could give us a really good look despite all of the bad looks that the wrestling industry has suffered. If they're
Yeah.
able to handle this swiftly, this can gain a lot of eyeballs, fans, and people to understand. But if they handle this poorly, it's going to be tough to continue to watch wrestling. Like it's going to be really tough because like I would not be able to support a company that does not handle matters like this very, very aggressively.
Yep.
And that's just, you know, obviously somebody that has raised a girl, somebody that has seen this, and then you don't know what that environment is going to say to women, especially not knowing them. It's this is deep. Like this is heavy, and that's why I'm proud of everyone, the little girl, the girls, the ladies, the underage people that speak. Like it's just so many parameters around this, and this is their chance, all of these industries, because there's a lot of wrestling companies, to be able to handle this swiftly. They have to. And we've been proud of how a lot of the wrestlers have come out with with the BLM movement, with how we could take a stand for ourselves. Like I was super proud of the New Day on SmackDown
Mm.
When they went into the middle of the ring and they made their power movement right there. Like there's things that you have to be able to give attention to, even though it is not going to be the most popular. This is one of those. This is definitely one of those situations. Has to be handled. It just has to be handled.
Yeah, I think the most saddening thing is it's like hurt people's or destroyed people's love for professional wrestling, which is
Yeah.
something that I know everybody on this podcast like loves and holds dear to their hearts. And these individuals held it dear to their hearts until individuals took that love and kind of played with it and like mislead them, manipulated them. And it's different accounts. It's not just like sexual abuse, it's like bullying and hazing, like Justin said before. So as a female wrestling fan, Krssi, I gotta ask you, because like the saddest part for me is that it's so many female wrestling fans that even if they didn't experience it, like learning about all these harrowing stories are just like they don't want to watch professional wrestling anymore. So like
Damn.
as a professional wrestling fan yourself, being a female, like how what can we do better as us as fans, people watching this, to like kind of make the wrestling scene like a better place for female wrestling fans?
That is a good question because I myself now is like questioning like what am should I still even watch myself now? Like all these allegations, like even I said, like I have to hold myself accountable if I have like this list that I was playing with, and it's like now it's like, all right, now what do we do? It's like for other females, it's like they look at these people now in a different light. Now they probably not even gonna trust them, even though they're playing a character on TV. It's like they probably just like, you know what? I don't need. They like you've tainted them now. You've ruined it. So it's like I mean, just like Justin JJ said, is like I've been watching this since I was a little girl, and it's something that like I hold dear to my heart as a wrestling fan, and even now with the Black Lives Matter movement too, it's just like certain things I'm just like I just it just like it hurts my heart to the core. Like now, like I don't have an honest answer to you, to be honest. Sorry.
Justin, you've been a part of the wrestling scene for a while. How about you? What do you think as professional wrestling fans we can make it a better place for other fans, not just female fans, but like just fans in general of professional wrestling?
Right, yeah, because I don't know if you guys have got a chance to read Keith Lee's story as well.
Yes,
Um,
yes. Keith Lee told his story about being basically apparently drugged while out at a karaoke bar one night by a fan that like found him attractive, and he woke up in a hotel that he didn't recognize. So it can happen
Wow.
to even the
Anybody.
wrestler. Yeah.
yeah, what wrestling needs to do, and some of the note while JJ was talking, I'm taking notes, going because I can throw out a whole lot of verbiage here, and I get fired up, and then I'm like, I forget some of my points. Some of these people
Oh,
have,
trust me, me too. Me too. I'm
yeah,
with you, brother.
That's JJ in a
I try to
nutshell.
keep it. I try to keep it as calm as possible because I want it to blow up.
Yeah.
right. And while you're talking and Chrissy's talking, in my head I'm going, don't interrupt them, don't interrupt them. But I want to jump at because when stuff flies in my head, a lot of these people may not have had a reputable training experience in professional wrestling, and now they are lofted to this locker room leader position. Okay. Um, Now, if I'm not properly trained, and trust me, there is a lot of people out there who are not properly trained, not just on what goes on inside the ring, but your business outside of it and how to conduct yourself as a professional. Um, if I'm elevated to that position of locker room leader just because I've had a few good matches, I've got kind of a semi name. Now everybody underneath me, if I'm being an absolute jerk off to the fans, to the ladies, now what does that say? Hey, I'm getting top billing. This is the way I treat female fans. This is the way I treat male fans. Okay, I want to be like you. So now we've created this whole culture, and it's gone on for a long time. And now, like I say, we have to rid the wrestling world of it, or re-educate, go back, learn some psychology, learn how to show up to the venue. learn how. This is way off. I'm going to get so much heat for this. It doesn't belong in this topic, but show up and put the ring up. Take the ring down. Pay your dues. A lot of people haven't paid their dues, have jumped on a trampoline and jumped into a position and worked their way up to the top of the card. They do not know how to treat. They're living the fantasy world.
But also, sorry to interrupt you, but also people have gotten the term paying their dues kind of muddied up, and that's what we're hearing from a lot of these account with like the speaking out movement.
Yeah, 100%. Like it needs to be. I'm not saying we need to go down to one reputable wrestling school in the entire nation, because God knows I trained in a St. Louis Park, Minnesota, in a small garage. It's barely any bigger than the room I'm in now. But I was trained by reputable trainers. I was brought along the right way. I have gone on in the career then to wrestle somebody who tried to lock up with you right-handed because they were trained in the backyard.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody who's gonna stick your head right here and suplex you with his right arm. Where are you? But the speaking out, wrestling, professional wrestling. Have you talked to people outside of your circle of friends about your love for professional wrestling? You know what they do to you? They're already looking down their nose a little bit. And now any little bit of bad press that's going to go mainstream on this, they're really going to be looking at you bad. Now everybody's a sexual predator that's in pro wrestling from somebody mainstream who's just hearing a touch of it. We need to be better. We need to get rid of. I'm sorry, but you got to. We spoke about Hollywood. Kevin Spacey. When's the last time you heard about him? He's gone. They did it right. He's gone. All right.
Yeah.
He's gone. Harvey Weinstein. All these people. These people need to be gone. And I'm sorry. I won't say the guy's name on your podcast, but when your apology includes that 16 was the legal age of consent in the United Kingdom. So I feel like I've done nothing wrong. Come on. Hey, come on. You got to be better.
That was like that. Yeah, that was a tough one. I believe you're speaking of Marty Scurll. Marty Scurll came out and had his basically his statement about the allegations against him, and said that he believed that his encounter with the individual was consensual, but the individual has felt like now they're a little bit older, they understand a little bit better, they feel that it wasn't. Marty did express that he understands that this needs to be about the victim and them expressing themselves and like really recovering from the abuse that they have gotten. So I will give him credit for that a quarter of it, but you're also right, he did try to kind of bring that type of claim to his innocence already in his apology. So I didn't like that part of it. It was a very muddy water, and it's always going to be muddy when it comes to these allegations. Like, Will Ospreay he doesn't have any sexual abuse allegations against him, just basically supporting sexual abuse, where one of his best friends that committed abuse to another fellow wrestler, he got that fellow wrestler that was the victim blackballed on the UK scene. So he's come out and kind of denied that. I know Uncle Dave Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio, he said that he's spoken to different promoters who also denied that Will had done that, but there was a promoter that did come out to validate what the victim said. So there's a whole bunch of A, B, C sides to all of these stories, honestly, if we get into all of them.
Yeah, and I just to jump in really quick, because I kind of want to connect something that both Justin and then Krssi said like right prior to him, and hearing what Krssi said, kind of being stuck in that situation as somebody like just we're the same way. We've been watching wrestling since we're both kids, and then we obviously know that there's a much larger culture of men and boys that watch wrestling. Now, when Krssi is she doesn't know what to do to sell to get other people to watch it because of how shady things are starting to feel in that aspect, and kind of connect that to what Justin is saying about people needing to be gone. and people this action that needs to be taken. And I think it just kind of connects with what we're all saying is that like if they don't handle this swiftly, and we were getting different looks, Justin, for being wrestling fans because a lot of people just figure wrestling to be fake. So wrestler, it's like a whole different aspect as to why we were getting funny looks. But now, if we get the look of, oh, they don't even know how to handle bullies, they don't know how to handle people with these allegations, they're just like letting everybody do whatever they want. If we get that on top of that, we're going to have a very, very hard time getting anybody else new to watch what we've been loving and then keep it uncomfortable for what we've been watching. It's like it's going to question us. Like, it's going to make us question ourselves. Like, what are we supporting? Like, what are we really supporting if the people that we're spending this money to, we take these trips out to spend our money to enjoy this product, and the people that is receiving our money don't handle it swiftly? Then what are you doing with our funding? What are you doing with our word? What are you doing with our voices? And it makes it harder for a woman to sell this profession to other women and other people if we handle things like crap. Like it just makes it extremely difficult. That's why I call for swift action. Like things just needs to happen strong.
Yeah.
100%. I want to jump in there. My last thing, hopefully, I say my last thing, and then I have 10 more things. But it used to have to protect the business. You remember that? I don't know. I'm old, guys, but you have to protect.
We hear that all the time. Yeah.
Now it's come out of the bag. Vince McMahon has said back in the day that this is a predetermined outcome. Okay, I'm calling. I'm not going to take a stand here and say I am, but we all need to make a call. Wrestlers, people in the business, fans, we all need to band together and protect the business right now. And one of the first things, JJ, by protecting the business is get these guys out. Get them out.
Exactly. Amen.
This belongs to me. It belongs to you. It belongs to everybody listening to. We need to protect the business. I feel like I'm on a soapbox, and I don't mean to be on a soapbox.
No, you're right.
We love it. We're passionate. The business in a different way. Predetermined outcome, I can deal with that. When I was a kid, even though I knew a little predetermined, I protected the damn business.
Right.
Even when I was a kid, I protected the business, but now I'm protecting the damn business from people that are predatory, people that are bullying, people that are hazing, people that aren't making this equal opportunity for everybody to watch. We all need to protect the business. And I guess that's where I end on that.
So, Justin, if this allegations happen to you in your profession, are you still working?
No.
Krssi,
no.
Are you still working? SP, are you still working?
Sir.
We're all out of a job, so it needs to be equal treatment for everyone across the damn board. You're going to shame yourself. You need to be shamed out loud.
Yeah.
I agree with you guys 100%. I think that they need to, like a committee, a group of people to investigate each allegation and sort out what's really happened, what didn't happen, and we need to take out the abusers, the bullies, all the people that are making the wrestling scene toxic. We need to get them out, and then we need to protect, as a professional wrestling fan, we need to protect our other professional wrestling fans. That's why, like I love the fact that we have a representative of Wrestling Travel from. These guys take fans from the UK and bring them over to WrestleMania here in the United States. That's a group of people like coming together to come here. That's what wrestling does. It brings people together to go far places that they never thought they can go before. The reason that we created True Heels is to bring wrestling fans together. Last week on True Heel Heat 79, I brought on Mike Martin. I met him back in 2011 at an ROH event. We met Krssi Love in 2019 at a wrestling viewing party. Like, you can meet so many great people and create so many great experiences in your life through professional wrestling that we need to get all these toxic people out immediately and then clean it up and reform it. Once again, we need to rebuild professional wrestling.
Yes, that's a good one.
There's so much freaking talent in the wrestling scene. This group of 20 or how many people will not destroy it. We will still have an amazing product after cleaning house.
Yep.
But a part of cleaning house, we gotta move on to the other big news of the week. So, my conspiracy theory for all of this, to bring it back to True Hill Heat, because we're here. If you're here with us this long viewing this, you enjoy what we have to say. You know we like to bring a smile to your face and bring some light to it. So my conspiracy hat is on, and I had to bring my
Oh
special
God.
wrestling
Oh
wrestling
God.
travel wrestling travel
Oh
conspiracy
Look at
hat.
that
God.
hat. Look at that hat.
Oh God. I
I
remember when you
believe
got that hat too.
I believe WWE had something to do with our previous topic, because if it wasn't for our previous topic,
Oh.
this would be the most talked about thing in professional wrestling. So there are more
So that's what we talked
positive.
about last week.
Exactly. There are more positive virus tests, because we're going to stay away from that C word from now on. There are more positive virus tests for the WWE. Ryan sat in a pro wrestling sheet reported on Wednesday that there are reportedly more positive CV-19 tests to WWE. As many as 3 people, he originally reported, that have been in the PC recently have tested positive for the virus, including an in-ring talent. PW Insider had a later report which said the number of positive tests are in the 2 dozen range. This follows WWE doing a company-wide testing last week, following the first positive test for the company since WrestleMania weekend, as well as inviting friends and family of talent to the tapings. WWE has since once again banned all non-WWE people from attending the tapings. This also happens the same week that AEW took extra measures to by keeping AEW World Champion Jon Moxley as well as QT Marshall off television this week, because they had let the company know that they had been in contact with people who had a who tested positive for the test. So a lot of people after this came out said, Jon Moxley had came into contact with someone who was positive for this. Who could that be? And everybody
Who?
wondered,
Who?
WWE,
Who?
WWE
Who?
has all these positive tests. Jon Moxley's an AEW World Champion, gets is connected to somebody. Who could that be? So
Put us on,
then the
cuz.
news
Put us
broke
on.
close to midnight that Renee Young revealed that she had tested positive for the virus, which explains Moxley's absence. Then Kayla Braxton, as well as WWE producer Adam Pearce, also revealed that they had tested positive, and there have been over 5,500 plus new cases in Florida alone, where both WWE and AEW filmed their television, which has brought into question if we are going to continue with TV tapings for both companies. So, that's a lot to unpack right there for you guys, involving this whole big scandal with WWE as well as AEW and how it affects AEW. Justin, what's been your thoughts on this whole big testing in scandal in WWE?
Well, it's crazy because I heard of talents prior. It wasn't the Miz named out a few months ago or a few weeks ago. Um, I don't know how much. I wish I knew exactly how that contract reads with Fox, because that was the thing that I had heard the rumor of. Hey, we need to have X amount of live programming. Now, in a contract, is there a force majeure for something like this? Probably not, but in the future there might be something like this. So, are they
Yeah.
forced to do the live programming? Now, like I said, either on the air or off the air when we're talking, I am glad that we are not currently. Like, I miss my baseball. I miss baking. Krssi, can I do
I'm
something for
sorry.
you? I'm
No,
just.
I apologize. Don't.
No,
Yeah.
no apologies. It's just awesome. I had to call it out. Um, I miss my baseball. I'm a huge now. Listen to me. I wasn't born when the Milwaukee Bucks last won the NBA title, but you got to say I felt like I was well on my way, and now it's
Yeah.
completely gone. So I'm glad we're still here. I am kind. That's why I was like, oh, that we were on the air because I said the Boneyard match. Okay, well, traditionally I don't want to be a fan of the cinematic matches, but it's way better than nothing. Do
Yeah.
we go to all cinematic matches? I
Ooh.
don't want to see that as a traditionalist, but it's 2020. My favorite wrestling organization growing up was the AWA. Some would argue that Vern Gagne went under because he refused to change with the times. Are we at a time when we need to change with the times? I don't know. I'll put this question to you guys. You're out on the East Coast. Whether I don't know what your football, I know what your football team is, JJ.
Clearly,
Thank you for Matt LaFleur, by the way. So far, working out.
yes,
But
enjoyable.
the last pay per view, the greatest match ever was a cinematic match. So, putting that in football terms, I brought it to my colleagues. What makes the greatest match ever? X, Y, and Z. So now are Edge and Orton, to put it in a Bill Belichick, are they system wrestlers? Or are they that good? Can I just put together? If we go to something cinematic, that was my point. I'm going to come back. If we go to where we always have to have something cinematic in the meantime until we get rid of this virus, then can I just always plug in X, Y, and Z and have great match after great match after great match? To me, a great match needs to be called in the ring. I can't imagine Steamboat and Savage going, "Hey, cut." Okay,
Right.
all right, you had him in a headlock and action. Okay, so if we have to go to cinematic, I'll take it in the short term.
But what do you think about WWE's kind of reaction to this whole ongoing pandemic, and or their I should say it better, or their lack of a reaction?
Right. Well, when we were at Wrestling Travel, when we thought that WrestleMania may or may not be canceled, do you remember how long that drug out? Because I
Yeah.
thought Vince McMahon is not gonna. There's some type of agreement. Whoever blinks first is gonna owe the other one money. I don't. I take it back to September 2001. Vince was the first public gathering, and I think in his head that was very heroic of him. I think he wanted to be the last one to have. He wanted to have that event in Tampa. He wants to be the first one to have live fans right now. I think it's an ego thing. I love the guy.
Oh wait, it is.
Of course.
Yeah, but
I don't
I
think
want
they're
to.
thinking about it.
Yeah.
It's,
So
it's definitely an ego thing with Vince McMahon.
I'm gonna tell you right now, an idea from Vince McMahon right now is probably stirring up. Donald Trump just had a convention where he had everybody sign a waiver that they would not be responsible for if they catch the 19 virus.
Oh no, he has home harmless agreements. That's already been leaked out that Vince McMahon has had company people on the staff and the
Oh
company
my god.
sign home harmless agreements.
You're not making this really easy now.
I'm just saying, Miss
No, but
Chrissy
but
Love,
there,
you
it
are.
just
I
makes
feel like
sense.
I just I just want to
It
say this to Miss Chrissy real quick. I feel like ever since you come on our show, we've kind of hurt your image of the WWE because we reveal a lot of this stuff to you.
But it's like
So-
it makes perfect sense because it's like Vince and Donald, best fucking friends, and now here you
They
go, same harmless agreements. If you catch a freaking life-threatening condition, that
you
we're
can't
not
do it.
responsible for it because you wanted to attend our shit. There's something really wrong with that picture,
Yep.
and
And
it
for
has to
Kayla to
be
get it
exposed.
twice,
yes, Kayla Braxton has got the virus twice. She confirmed on her Twitter. What was your reaction to Renee Young getting the virus, Chrissy?
like you said, when we the your conspiracy, I'm really thinking that is true. First of all, I think that the whole virus is they set that they set it up in the lab. Don't get me talking about the virus, please. No, because I can go on and on and on about it was in the lab and they injected all of us. Don't get me started. Because I'm you don't have to be a rocket scientist to just to know all of that. Anywho, how? Why? Like, how are you not? You didn't. This started from last week. You wasn't given proper testing. You had to have, like you said, you have to be the first one. It's definitely an ego thing. You got to have one up on someone. You're not doing good in your ratings. So it's got to be somewhere where you can be like, what can I do that no one else can do, and that they'll probably copy me. But no one wants to do what you're doing because all of it is bad. that's the part where you're not understanding. And like you sent the email for the whole solidation of like your black standing in solidarity, excuse me, with black. You sent an email. You didn't even like say anything about like people have to do their own thing. You send an email like you're like you just don't care. Like you're just bad. And now I'm getting to see more and more that you're just like your best friend. You're just like him. It's sad to say, and it's like tainting my. Oh my God! It's like it's making it so hard, and it's like how poor Renee, poor Kayla had it, and y'all let her come back to work.
But we
Kayla should
also
be
we also have to put into account like these people's accountability as well,
true,
because
absolutely.
I gotta say the one person that deserves so much credit is our pioneer, the Jackie Robinson of sitting out on the WWE,
Yep.
Mr. Roman Reigns. Mr. Roman Reigns deserves so much credit.
And Sami Zayn is after him though. Sami Zayn next.
But no, Roman saw it from jumps. Sammy was on WrestleMania, so I'm sorry. Sammy could be the
Okay,
second.
fine.
Whoever the second black baseball player was, whoever that was, that's Sammy Zayn. But Jackie Robinson of this movement is Roman Reigns because he set out not on just WrestleMania. He said
Yeah.
on the main event to win the Universal title, guaranteed. He sat out on that to protect his family because he got to the taping and he was like, wait, I just got in. They just checked my temperature. They didn't test me for this. None of y'all are tests. Oh, Miz is sick. I'm out.
Yeah. Miz was sick for like
He was
Miz.
like,
You can't tell me Miz didn't have it. Miz had it. He had
Oh,
to.
we all know Miz had it.
Yep.
We
We
all
was
know
saying. We
Miz
matter of
had
fact
it.
we said that. Yeah, Miz had it.
so Roman
Oh
deserves so
God.
much credit. Kevin Owens, like we talked about last week, he's the latest person to kind of sit out, and he revealed that on the bump this week, revealing that that's the reason why he set out to during the ongoing pandemic and to keep his family safe. So we got to give it up for him for that as well. But
Like I know
this
you
is
want
like
to entertain us. I
all
know I would rather everyone be safe and stay at home and get it together than be entertaining us and be sick and get like you don't know what's you don't I don't want to know what happens when you get it. I don't want to know that. So why would you want that to happen to your people? Like, come on. That's so sad.
this is just all time levels of
And
negligence.
I know you could call your friend. I'm sorry to cut you off. I know you could call your friend and get more testing. He said they're doing too much testing. You could get them to come get the testing done for them with no problem.
Guys, like just get a lining out of this. WrestleMania was what, April 5th and 6th, or April 4th
Yep.
and 5th.
Yep.
This is the first company-wide testing since then. So the
No,
virus.
the first
So
company-wide testing period.
period. So since the world has shut down since March 16th,
Yep.
Yes.
March 16th, one group-wide testing, and this is why, friends. And if you guys want to learn something from the True Heel Heat podcast, this is why copycatting is not a good thing. Because the WWE wanted to copy AEW by having people in their sections and
Yep.
having a,
Mm-hmm.
interactive experience. But the difference here, guys and children and boys and girls, is that AEW announces every single week that they have tested everybody that is in attendance.
Mm. They've been saying that since day one.
And the WWE in the following weeks does temperature checks.
But they said
Even
everybody was tested too. They said
And
that too. Until it was
bullshit.
revealed it wasn't.
Bullshit. Like
And
that is not the truth at all. That
yeah.
no, the WWE wasn't doing no damn company wide testing. So with these temperature checks, and now they're announced. Like, I mean, are we surprised that there's a whole bunch more positive results?
No.
Are we really surprised?
no,
Like, this is not. This
we
is
said
literally.
this. We said this last week. He's like, it's probably more than just one. He's been at the PC. He was at the PC, the first person. So he was around other people. They told people, reportedly, they told people not to wear masks or they couldn't be fans on TV. So More than likely, there's a lot more people, and then there's a
You know what's
picture.
this?
There's a great picture of SmackDown this week with Renee in the ring with all the wrestlers around her, and then they get in the ring surrounding her, and it's just like, damn, how many people involved in that one little segment now have the virus?
You know the sad part is they sell masks on their website.
They Thank you. Our good friend Downicious on his Twitter. He put that out there. He was like, WWE's also missing out on a great marketable opportunity to promote their masks by making them
Is
wear
they
the
so
mask.
cool? I don't even want to buy the mask no more because
So one final question before we wrap things up and move on to the Wednesday Night War. I'll start with you, Justin. Do you believe WWE and AEW will postpone television?
No, no, they'll go fanless before they do that. They gotta,
good answer.
especially
Good answer. Like Family Feud. Good answer. Yep.
survey says.
Everybody says.
Yeah.
Top guy JJ. I think that's it. I think for the audio people, he just had to sigh just answering that. So we got to move on to the Wednesday Night War. This is the time of the show where we talk about AEW Dynamite and WWE NXT and tell you who won the ratings war for the week. Miss Krssi Love, you always love your drums here, so take it away. So, for week 36 of the Wednesday Night War, it is AEW Dynamite with 633,000 viewers to WWE NXT with 786,000 viewers. Yes, NXT defeats AEW for week 36 of the Wednesday Night War. We had on WWE NXT Keith Lee defeating Finn Balor and Johnny Gargano to defend the North American title, setting up him versus Adam Cole in a winner takes all match on July 8th. We had Cameron Grimes defeating Damian Priest. Cameron Grimes, once again, one of the MVPs of Wednesday Night War. We had Miss Krssi Love's favorite, Dexter Loomis, get the better of the Undisputed Era, even though Roddy faced the fear of the trunk. And the biggest news from NXT is going to have, over the next 2 weeks, their most original idea ever, as they will have the Great American Bash, a 2-week event. I have never heard of anything like this. This is the most original thing NXT has ever produced. Yes, Triple H wrote that line for me. AEW Dynamite had Orange Cassidy laying out Chris Jericho. It had FTR defeating SCU in a really good matchup, which then sets up a huge 8-man tag with the return of the Lucha Bros. We had Warlow defeating Luchasaurus in a very fun lumberjack match. A hell of a promo from Cody and Arn Anderson, which Cody once
Yes.
again he was turning heel. And then we had basically the go home for Fighter Fest Night 1. We'll talk about that after I ask you guys the question we usually ask every week. What was the better show for the week, AEW Dynamite or WWE NXT? We'll start with you, Justin.
Well, you're going to be very upset with me. Last night, I ran a lockdown session, so I did an interview with the Man Scout Jake Manning. So I unfortunately only got to see the results. I'll answer your question with a question, and I'll wait to hear everybody else's. But I've got a question for the three of you. So move on from me.
I appreciate your honesty. Krssi Love, how about you? AEW or NXT this week?
I don't think either show was bad, to be honest. I had liked the stint with Britt Baker. I think she's great. How do you have the whole like she made her own box? Like, that's amazing. I think she's great. But I'm gonna give it. I personally thought AEW was on top because I don't think any show is the same. I think it's always different. And they always putting up different matches and they're always pulling up other people to go be elevated and pushed up, which I'm beginning to love more and more. But don't get me wrong, I think NXT was great too. I love the last match, which was great. I think the triple threat was good. I think it was very, very good for all three gentlemen to be a part of, to be honest. I love the stint where with the Undisputed Era where he conquered his fears and got inside the trunk. I thought that was great. So I don't think either show was bad, but if I have to pick one, I'm gonna go with AEW.
All right, so we got one for AEW. Top guy JJ.
This kind of pains me to say a little bit. It kind of, I think I'm gonna give the edge to NXT this week.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna give the edge. Like NXT to me finally put on a show that I followed and vibed with almost from start to finish. I'm just very disappointed with what they're doing with Rhea Ripley at the moment. I mean that's basically probably my whole disappointment. That's probably my whole disappointment. But as you said, like the Undisputed Therapy was flat out awesome to me. Like that was like the highlight of it. And this Dexter Loomis dude, man. There's something different with him. Like he has like they set up the cameras different for him. The looks is different with like they creep you out with just his aura. And
Krssi loves that.
Like and then to open the show with Cameron.
He comes up with Stranger Things soundtrack. It's great.
And then to open the show with our favorite guy, Cameron Grimes.
Oh, Cameron! I'm a new fan. I'm a fan.
Cameron Confident Grimes. You got to call out his middle name. It's Confident.
Cameron, and he
hurting my man in the back, jumping him in the back right before the match starts.
He hurt Larry Morgan. It's so sad. I know.
And the triple threat match was like it felt like a well put together show. Like AEW was pretty good as well. But I just like I like a good match ending, a really good match ending compared to the segment endings. So when Chris Jericho and Orange Cassidy, which was fantastic by the way, but when that ended the show, to me that was a little like it kind of left me a little something more to desire. So I can't wait for their encounter, but I would much rather have a great match to end the show than a segment to end the show, especially if the segment kind of was a little similar to what happened the prior week.
Yeah.
That when I see Orange Cassidy snap twice in a row, it kind of was like, all right, I got that badass image already, so we got it again. But that's what I just got out of the cat. Like Chris Jericho.
Well, Chris Jericho has changed his character.
Jericho.
That's the story.
Holy shit, Chris Jericho.
I love that promo. Why did the chicken cross the road to get to the other side? Why did the chicken cross the road to get to the other side? After you say it a few times, it gets less funny. It gets more annoying. That's Orange Cassidy. I love that. That was a great promo by Chris Jericho.
Chris Jericho right now is just like he is just gold, man. Like he is.
I gotta give this week to AEW Dynamite. AEW Dynamite was just the more complete show where I felt more things were going on. Even like small little things like the whole Mr. Brody and Colt Cabana versus my highlight of Wednesday night yesterday, which was the Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss vignette.
Yes.
That was like a Zack Snyder type of movie. It was shot like a movie with slow motion action scenes. But Joey Janela hitting the bad guys with 7-Eleven plastic bags was the second funniest thing that I saw on Wednesday night. The first funniest thing was also on Dynamite where Britt Baker got the trash thrown on her by Swole, and Reba, her assistant, is trying to shoo her with the leaf blower. I legit marked out laughing. Like AEW always has me cracking up. I have to give it most weeks to them. NXT was also really strong. The main event was probably the best match on. Was probably my second favorite match last night for all of Wednesday night, but definitely the best match on NXT. Cameron Grimes was awesome. I'm liking the feud with Damian Priest. Loving the Undisputed Era and the Undisputed Therapy. even the logic hole of Santos Escobar. I'm enjoying that whole match was very fun with him and Jake Atlas. But like I said, AEW was the strongest show and had my favorite match of the night, which was FTR versus SCU. I will say to you, Justin, since you haven't watched it, if you're gonna watch one match from either show, it's that one. If you want classic old school type of wrestling, it was FTR versus SCU. It just made sense. Everything they did made sense in the structure of a tag team match. There was actual tags. It was great. And
Mm-hmm.
the return of the Lucha Bros afterwards, and just the dichotomy of the old school tag team of FTR and the new school ways of Lucha Bros. I just can't wait for that match. Like, I marked out. So AEW gets it for me this week. So next week we got Fighter Fest night one. We're just gonna get your predictions for night one since that's next week. So we'll start from the bottom to the top. I'll start with you, Justin. We got MJF and Wardlow versus Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy. Who you got?
MJF and Wardlow, hands down.
I gotta agree with you on that one. I'm gonna go with MJF and Wardlow to get the victory here. Who you got, Krssi?
Same. I told you that's young Ted DiBiase in the making, man. Love it.
who you got, top guy JJ?
Clean sweep.
Clean sweep for MJF and Wardlow. Another tag team match, which is in question because of the new travel restrictions with places like New York City. There may be travel restrictions on if they're able to come out because both of these teams are from New York. But we're going to have Private Party with Matt Hardy versus Santana and Ortiz, Proud and Powerful. Who you got, top guy JJ?
That sounds like that. I would love to see this, man. I
Yeah.
mean, if it works, it works. This is a hard one.
Because they're both good. Yeah.
Hey,
But
you got tough choices here.
You gotta go FTR, right?
No, Private Party versus Santana and Ortiz.
That's my bad. That's my bad. I had them in my head for a while. I'm gonna go Santana and Ortiz.
All right,
Good
Justin,
answer, friend.
Justin, who you got?
Why do I have FTR in my head?
I'm gonna agree Santana and Ortiz, but I would be pleasantly surprised and happy if Private Party went over.
Yeah.
Private Party does need big victories for sure.
Yeah.
What you got, Krssi?
I since Ortiz, who fought last night? Was it Ortiz that fought yesterday?
Santana.
Santana and Matt
Since
Hardy.
he had lost, it might be an upset again where this feud will be going on and they might just lose and give Private Party that extra push that they probably need.
So you're going
So
Private Party.
I'm going to go with Private Party. I was going to go with Santana and Ortiz at first, but like yesterday's events and what Justin just said, I think I'm going to go with Private Party.
So I'm gonna go in this one. I'm gonna agree with Justin and top guy JJ. I'm gonna go with Santana and Ortiz. AEW Women's Championship matchup is gonna be Hikaru Shida going one-on-one with Penelope Ford. I'm gonna call this one real quick. It's Shida. I'm going with Shida. Who you got? Justin, we'll start with you.
Shida.
Oh, who you got? Shida versus Penelope Ford.
Are you talking to me?
Yes, Shida versus
Oh.
Penelope Ford.
Shida. My bad.
I mean, hey, at least I can say I've been drinking.
Top guy JJ, who you got?
That's a clean sweep.
Cool.
Shida.
All right. AEW TNT Championship matchup is going to be Cody versus Jake Hagar. Who you got, Krssi?
Oh, this is hard because I want.
Is it really?
I mean, okay, Cody will win. So. Okay.
Who you got, top guy JJ?
This is Cody all the way. Like, Cody is definitely winning this match.
Justin.
The American Nightmare.
Clean sweep for the American Nightmare, and in the main event, it is the AEW Tag Team Championship on the line. That is one of my other highlights from AEW Dynamite last night. They had a great video package previewing the Best Friends versus Hangman and Omega,
Yes.
and the dichotomy of this matchup is basically going to be the Best Friends versus the best wrestlers. Can two guys that know each other, like brothers and the best friends, overcome the ability and the skill of Kenny Omega and Hangman Page in the main event of night one of Fyter Fest? Justin, who you got?
I just cannot see the Best Friends going over. I
Yeah.
got to go Hangman and Omega.
Who you got, Krssi?
Hangman and Omega.
Justin, top guy JJ.
Best Friends ain't winning no damn tag titles, man. It's just Hangman. What the hell? Like, come on, son. Steps here.
I need at least one bold prediction for every card that we do, and I really loved the video package last night with the dichotomy, and it brought back the whole story of Hangman Page and Kenny Omega. Are they on the same page? Are they not? So I'm gonna say they are not, and the Best Friends will become the third ever AEW Tag Team Champions.
Okay.
Bless your heart.
AEW's videos all last night were great.
They always are
the
on
best
point.
at the vignettes. Yeah, AEW's the best at the vignettes right now.
Yep.
They're always on point with those, and they always tell like a very good story or get in a nutshell the character or whatever feud they're trying to push. WWE news, due to production cuts for Fox with the ongoing pandemic, WWE Backstage on FS1 has been canceled from its regular Tuesday slot. The show might return before or after big shows for WWE. Finn Balor reveals that his father tested positive for the virus and survived his bout with the virus. So congratulations to his father. That's definitely a scary thought to have with, your dad during this whole pandemic. So very happy to hear about that. Liv Morgan also takes to Twitter to express her frustration after her match on Raw is edited. Apparently, she was very upset about that. And one more note from like the WWE news in regards to Renee Young as well as Kayla Braxton and Adam Pearce. I want to just say, from all of us at True Hill Heat, we wish them well. We want them to get well very soon, and hopefully, that they can deal with this virus, as well as John Moxley, which very likely he has it as well. So we hope, wish them well with dealing with this, and hope that they are another survivor of this virus. AEW, also other note from the AEW news, Sammy Guevara sent out a video apologizing to Sasha Banks, like Top Guy JJ mentioned before, for the fans, that mentions that he's going to be off of social media. New Japan recently had a private taping in Los Angeles at their LA dojo, and will be a part of their Lions Break Collision shows next month, and will feature former MLW champion Tom Lawler. Impact Wrestling news, apparently Dave Chris was reportedly already on his way out of Impact Wrestling prior to his recent allegations, and he was removed from the locker room and told to change on his own at the most recent TV taping for Impact. ROH news, like we said earlier, Marty Scurll sent out his statement, and ROH has sent out the statement basically saying that they will do their own private investigation about all their wrestlers, contracted talent that have been allegations levied against. So that is all for our top news. We want to close up things with talking to our very special guest, Justin. You've been doing a lot of great things, like we said at the top of the show, with Wrestling Travel, for their Wrestling Travel YouTube channel. You have this great show, like you said before, Lockdown Sessions. So I just got to ask you, who would you say has been like your favorite guest that you've had on your YouTube channel in regards to your interviews, with knowing so many people from the business? I know you have a list of them, but who would you say has been your favorite that you've talked to?
My favorite, and I can't say by far, but just because somebody as a child I never thought I'd be able to talk to, was Nikita Koloff. So the little kid in me, I strive to give a different type of show. I don't have the I could ask him, hey, in 1986 you were in the ring with blah blah blah, but in fact I said to him, I said, hey, everybody wants to hear about the best of 7 with Magnum TA. What I want to hear about is, were you ready for that crowd to accept you after Magnum got in the accident and Dusty picked you for the superpowers for the Crockett Cup? And I got some cool stories out of him, which, like I said, I'm long-winded, but it's worth the watch. So I gotta say Nikita, just because the kid in me was pretty excited.
Awesome. And how did you get into connection with Wrestling Travel and those guys out in the UK, being from Wisconsin out there?
I actually met the founder, Lee McAteer. I worked at a summer camp in Pennsylvania. I did all the hiring, and Lee has a company called AmeriCamp that provides people from the UK the opportunity to travel and work at summer camps. And so we actually met at all places. I can remember exactly where I met Lee. It was in Atlantic City, New Jersey, and I was wearing a CM Punk t-shirt, and he comes up and says, and it's just the BITW and the AC/DC logo. He's like, "Is that CM Punk?" And I'm like, "Yeah, how'd you know that?" And the only reason I'm wearing that, it was the only clean shirt I had that was kind of dirty. It was mainly black. So the whole wrestling t-shirt black thing. So and the rest is history.
Awesome. That's great. That's really cool. Krssi Love, Top Guy JJ, do you guys have any questions in regards to Wrestling Travel or his YouTube channel?
So how does one become a part of the whole Wrestling Travel company? Do we have to pay? How can I be a part of it and come along and travel with you guys?
Absolutely. We run trips not just for people out of the UK, but because I'm in the US, I had told Wrestling Travel, hey, a lot of people from the US would like to go to WrestleMania and Wrestle Kingdom as well, not just people from the UK. Right. I remember WrestleMania 28, I decided on a Friday I was going to go from Pennsylvania to Miami, bought my tickets on the way down. Wrestling Travel, here's how you do it. You want to go to Wrestle Kingdom, Krssi. You want to go to, let's say you want to go to WrestleMania. Well, you know what? No, you're going to Japan. You want to go to WrestleMania.
Exactly. Yes.
The world is back to normal, and you go, hey, I want to go to Wrestle Kingdom in Japan. However, I don't know anybody in Japan. I know the tickets are going to be, I don't know how to get tickets, first of all.
Right.
My flight, my hotels. You come to us and say, hey, I'd like to pick a package. I want to go to Wrestle Kingdom in Japan. I say, great, Krssi. Here's what we're going to do. Right now, we're running a deal in the UK. It's 199 pounds down. So you're going to put your money down to go to Wrestle Kingdom. You're going to put a small deposit down. Now, my favorite part about it is I'm not going to do a credit check on you. You're going to give me monthly deposits.
Oh, bless your heart. That's what I'm talking about. Let's just get that payment plan popping, friend.
Yes.
I got a family. I got a mortgage. We need payment plans. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about.
That's what I love about it. When I went on my own, I had to pay for the entire.
Spoke her language.
Yeah.
I love a discount. Let's go.
And look at all of us right now. Some of us are working a lot less. Some of us aren't working at all. But even when everything was normal, we had a great economy going. We were taking payment plans. We want to, I don't want to hit your wallet all at the same time. Now, what's not included in those payment plans? I'm going to tell you what was going to happen at WrestleMania 36. Let's pretend you did all your payment plans, Krssi. You were coming down. We had your flight. We had your hotel. We had your tickets for Mania, Hall of Fame, SmackDown, and Raw, and NXT, whatever else we all. And then plus, you could have done on your own, went to all the indie shows. But when you arrived at the hotel, I can let the cat out of the bag because I've let it out several times. Miss Vicky Guerrero was going to greet you in the hotel lobby. We had our own room. She was going to be doing her podcast. And she was going to interview you and ask you how you're excited about it. So Vicky's going to do a little excuse me. Now, these are extras.
Excuse me.
You were going to go in our suite at SmackDown. You were going to sit there with Mr. Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Telling you the pre-party for NXT TakeOver, I would have had Brian Knobbs and Jerry Saggs of the Nasty Boys there. And I would have had Flying Brian Pillman Jr. and Alicia Atout at Raw. Now, these are all a lot of people are like, oh, what am I if I went and got tickets on my own and blah, blah, I might be able to get it a little bit cheaper. You might, but you're not going to have a wrestling travel party. And I'm never going to tell you who's at WrestleMania 37. I look at it like this is a really big setback not having WrestleMania, but it's giving me to plan extra stuff for WrestleMania 37 and give you some surprise guests. Because guess what? Last year you guys were there. Some of you were there with Mr. James Storm. Came in last minute. We had a guest cancel. And what is better? Do you want to go meet James Storm and go to his table and go, could you sign this? I'll lean over and get a picture. Or do you want to have a beer in a bar with James Storm and shake his hand and get your picture? We provide experiences.
I want an experience. Sign me up.
I want you guys there. I want you guys there for sure.
Sign me up for sure. I'm there.
I just want to thank Justin so much because he could have chose any of us to put in the scenario of taking to Japan, but he chose the one person who has a disdain for New Japan. So I thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you.
That is not true, friend.
You could say it's not true, but we literally, we could go back 2 podcasts and you groaned when we just brought up the topic that New Japan was returning. So
no, that's not true. I know y'all so happy. I said, don't go back, bro.
No. She put on the only sarcastic reaction, like, "Oh, I know you guys are so excited.
I know you guys are so excited to talk about New Japan. Go ahead, let's go, guys. I know y'all been so sick of talking about WWE and AEW. That's what I did. That's not bad. That's actually really good.
Because
I called the New Japan thing porno. That's why.
Yes, Justin. She said that G1 Climax sounds like a porno name. So that's this.
Am I wrong?
This is New Japan.
I'll go to Japan. I will go with no problem. If I have the time off, I would definitely go. And I hope you guys are there with me.
Me and my lovely love of my life. Happy anniversary to Tia. We're
put a ring on it, friend. Let's go.
We're taking the trip out to Japan for Wrestle Kingdom, so we might meet up with the guys from Wrestling Travel. We already got our ticket to go out there. We don't know if that's going to change with the ongoing thing, but I might have to talk to Justin off air about seeing what else we can get involved in with Wrestling Travel. So we'll be a part of that party and everything. So thank you, Top Guy JJ. Any final questions for Justin?
I mean, I think that one was pretty much covered. Krssi hit it on the head with that one. And it was just kind of wondered, like, what made you decide to get into doing this collective wrestling fan experience? Because this is very
fantastic. I love it.
Because it's amazing, and it's like, what made you come up with the concept to kind of do it? Because this is something that not only it takes time, it takes commitment, it takes trust. It takes these things, and obviously the love of wrestling is one, but like, what made you decide to say take this on?
Well, I can't take any credit for it because I joined them in mid form. But as I said, Lee McAteer, who I met in Atlantic City wearing the CM Punk t-shirt, essentially Wrestling Travel is an offshoot of the original Invasion Company, which is a travel company. They deal with flights and hotels and stuff every day, combining Lee's love for professional wrestling and the fact that Lee was voted Britain's best boss, appeared on BBC, and just, hey, I want to bring, and he said exactly what you guys were saying earlier, the love of professional wrestling. And you guys met Krssi at a viewing party. It brings wrestling fans together. So it was just something that I wanted to jump on board. It's nice not having to take a bump and still being involved in the world of pro wrestling. Now, I want to get a shameless plug in here, even though you guys were awesome plugging. Because everything has gotten canceled, we have trying to make that transition. We're a travel company. We're slowly starting to become a media company with interviews. So any advice I could get on building that YouTube channel, getting people to subscribe, where I know it's a little click and you never get bothered by it again, but I know you guys do the same things. It's always nice to have people subscribing, getting the content. So check us out. I was so happy when you guys actually checked out one of our videos, and I couldn't get to you guys fast enough to say, hey, thank you. Love to do something with you. And I hope today is just the beginning of something beautiful, because I would love to have you guys on.
Absolutely.
So
For sure.
I already subscribed, so you know.
For sure. I wanna for sure do more collaborations between Wrestling Travel and True Hill Heat. I wanna definitely come on your guys' your guys' channel, as well as maybe have some more folks from the. I know you have a couple of other correspondents on the YouTube channel helping you out. I saw a lovely long young lady on your Backlash review. I know you have a bunch of people, so you can name a couple of those before we wrap things up.
yes, and you need to have her on. Her name is Brittany Nicole. She she is a female owner who owns and runs Elevate Pro in New Orleans. She has a wrestling school. She is as smart as she is pretty. She is one cool girl. She does a lot of backstage. She would be somebody fantastic to have on. If you haven't got a chance, they do a really. I was really impressed. I interviewed her. She helped us out with the Mania Crawl. And then I just actually checked out her YouTube channel, because that's what good people should do. And they have a really good, their Elevate Pro show that is on YouTube is done really well. I wanted to talk to her. She's awesome. She's done her own interviews for us, and she would be a great, great guest and somebody you should check out.
We'll definitely work on connecting more, and this is just the beginning of the
Yes.
collaborations between True Hill Heat and Wrestling Travel. So we got to wrap things up on this edition of True Hill Heat 80. This wrap up of this is our outro where we plug our lineup for our YouTube channel. You can check out the latest Wednesday Night Warriors, which is going to be up on the channel right now. Undertaker The Last Ride Chapter 5 review, as we mentioned earlier, as well as our Dark Side of the Ring Season 1 review for The Last of the Von Erichs are all up right now. J News Japan is going to be back with New Japan Cup Night 3, as well as New Japan Cup Night 4 and 5 and 6 will all drop this weekend from J News, as well as an all new Dark Power and All Elite recap will drop this weekend as well. And True Rewind will return to his Monday slot. I know you guys have been waiting for our recaps of WCW Nitro and WWF Raw. It's going to be back to its Monday slot. It came out on Wednesday this week. And also our Dark Side of the Ring Season 1 review for the mysterious death of Gorgeous Gino will drop on Wednesday as well. And our next pay-per-view roundtable review will be for New Japan Pro Wrestling Dominion in July. So 1 week before Extreme Rules, that will be our next pay-per-view roundtable. Justin, any final plugs before we wrap things up?
Well, first thing I want to tell you is I have never talked more with my hands than I have with you guys here today. I don't know what it was. I got into it, but you guys do a great job. I got a chance to obviously look. You guys do so much extensive stuff on here. I don't know how you keep up with everything. So fantastic. So anybody watching this, subscribe to True Heel Heat, and comment on Wrestling Travel. And if there's anything that I can ever do for you or anybody out there listening, just give us a holler. Thank you for having me on. Thank you very much.
Appreciate having you on, man.
An honor. Thank you.
Miss Krssi Love, Top Guy JJ, where can they find you online?
First, I want to give a shout out. We were supposed to do this at the beginning of the show, but we didn't. We just was talking about everything, but it's all right. I want to give a shout out to Eric James from Paper Champions. He has a Facebook page. He shouted us out. He doesn't have to, but as a wrestling community, we all have to stick together and shout each other out and lift everyone up, especially in these crazy times right now. So he shouted us out in his last review for Backlash. He shouted us out in another company. I don't remember their name. I'm so sorry. But check out Eric James and Paper Champions. He does a great job running that whole club on Facebook. And thank you for shouting us out. I am the sensationalist Krssi Love. You can follow me on IG, Twitter, and on Facebook. I am the sensationalist Krssi Love or Krssi Love _ or just Crystal Owens Lynch.
Top Guy JJ.
All right, I'm just at Instagram at TrueHill_Top Guy JJ, and at Facebook I'm simply Justin Johnson. So yeah, no long spiel for me
Simple,
here.
simple and to the point. Our related promotion here in New York is Battle Club Pro. You can follow them on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram at TrueHill_EpicSP3. And you can follow True Hill Heat on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at True Hill Heat. Of course, like Justin say, push that like button, push that subscribe button, and the bell to stay notified. We want to make this one of our most liked True Hill Heats. Since we got Wrestling Travel up on here, we got to impress. So we want to make this a very liked video. So give us those thumbs up and push that
Yes.
subscribe button. Of course, you can also subscribe to Justin with Wrestling Travel. So check them out. Push them up to that 1K. Push them up to that 1K spot. Both channels growing. That's what we love to see. And of course, our good brother from All Elite Recap, Marcus Cash. You could check out his new YouTube channel, My Battery is Dying. And you can listen to True Hill Heat on iTunes, SoundCloud, wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. So, for our special guest, Justin Clapper of Wrestling Travel, for the princess of all the True Hills, Miss Krssi Love, for our resident True Hill alcoholic, Top Guy JJ. It is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3. This has been True Hill Heat 80. We are signing off until next time.
And protect the business. It's up to us.
Absolutely.